Good morning. Welcome to Lisa's Pine Notes. My name is Lisa and I welcome you to my newest pattern of my Inline Granny collection. If you don't know what an Inline Granny is, it is simply 3 clusters of double crochet and a chain in between, allowing color to pop through. Now, I do thank each and every one of you for the popular success of my 3-tail granny square that has over 12,000 views. I thought for this holiday in the year 2020 I would do another tutorial on a wonderful pine tree inline granny square. Now, of course, I did holiday right here. Merry and Bright is what I call this one, and this is done with Premier Cotton yarn. And over on Ravelry I have listed the colors out if you'd like to do that. However, I also have a nice soft rendition of a pine tree that is just beautiful, and I think you'll like this as well. It's just a nice simple pine tree. And again, this color is Premier Home. The color is olive, and a simple white cone of Premier Home cotton in white. So again, use any colors that you wish. Now keep in mind, even though I have these, I did a beautiful coral background. This is Coral Splash, and I should add that that's Olive Splash here. And when paired together, you can see the pops of coral coming through here, or you could do solid white. And of course, this is going to be a trivet, and the previous one is going to be a pillow. So there are many uses for a simple granny square. I would love to see a soft winter blanket made out of this square, and I think there's so many uses for this. And of course, you know me, I've got to add color here to our wonderful square, and in fact, I think in neon. This reminds me of the Light Brights from 1970, and again, this is Premier Cotton, but it's everyday, and this is 100% acrylic. Now, I'm not sure if these neon colors are still available. I was using yarn from my stash to design this, but I think it looks exactly like a Light Bright. And as you can see, again, so many uses, so much fun. And the current one I'm working on happens to be out of Lion brand Comfy Cotton, which is the color Poppy. This again is our olive, which I am preferring for my tree color. You can use any green. And this in between here, this nice pop of color that's very soft, is called Enchanting Embers. So this is my next square, but what I'm going to teach you with today is from Premier Yarn, so you can see it clearly. So grab your hooks and join me back here with your yarn, and we'll get started on the Pine Inline Granny Square. And welcome back. We have our yarn and colors laid out for the Pine Inline Granny Square, and I am going to be doing this one in soft blues. These little blues are from the Premier color pack. I got this last year right from their website, premier.com, and I will insert right here, I am not affiliated with any company or yarn carrier, so I buy my own supplies, and this is not affiliated with any of these companies that I mentioned previously. So I just want to throw that in there. And so I picked out of that packet some beautiful blues to make our first granny square. And what I did was I simply chained 43. And I will make mention that although this is a YouTube tutorial, I do have a PDF of this pattern available for purchase to help support me in bringing you more videos. So if you would like the pattern to purchase, visit my Ravelry or Etsy store and we can get that to you. So to start off, I chained 43, and what we're going to do next is we're going to start on the very bottom row and working in the very back bump. There is a back bump right here, and we're going to start our clusters, and we're going to do a chain 3 plus 1, so that's 4 chains, and start right there in the 5th. Because I like an edge, you'll see that the edge on my square happens to have a chain 3 plus 1 to work into to help those colors pop on the very edges there. So go ahead and work your first row of 3 granny stitches, and I'll join you at the very end. We're aiming for 10 blocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for your blocks. That's what the pattern is written for, but just to show you how to do the inline stitch, we're going to keep this real simple and just do the tree pattern right here. So I'm going to start my grannies by first counting back and inserting my hook into that stitch. Again, that is the chain 3 plus 1, which is 4. And so you just want to go around working into that back bump. Gives a nice edge. So if you're joining later on in a granny square blanket or a scarf, this would even make a cute table runner. In between our bricks of granny is a chain 1. So we're going to chain 1 and continue on, skip that stitch below, and right in that next bump, go ahead and chain 3, double crochet, 3 bricks, 3 double crochets again. It's very early in the morning here, but I wanted to get this to you guys. And here's your chain 1, skip 1, and 3 double crochet. And you continue on and do your 10. Again, I'm going to do an abbreviated version just so I could show you the pine tree pattern itself. So continue on and meet me back. You can go ahead and cut your yarn at the end. And welcome back. We've just done our foundation for the pine inline granny square. We have 10 bricks down here as our foundation, and we're getting ready to add our first row of color. Now I will mention, of those blues that I showed you earlier, I'm picking the greenest one out of those for the entire tree. So that's going to remain the same color. And then the special color pops for the chain that we're going to do next, I'm going to gradiate up from darkest to lightest. So you choose whatever colors you want there. But right now I wanted to show you how to do my color change. However you want to is fine. Again, I'm just giving you a recipe to create a granny square. You add your own flavor to it. So as I mentioned, I told you to go ahead and cut your yarn. I went ahead and did that. But what I'm doing is I'm going to pull out that last stitch of that double crochet. Remember, it was 3 double crochets, chain 1, and a single double crochet at the end. Of that single crochet, I pulled out that first stitch so I can seamlessly add my first color for the chain, just like that. And I leave a long tail. I do have a habit of leaving too short a tail to sew in on these. And what we're going to do, as before, is we're going to chain 4 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. And sometimes I tie these ends in a bow, but I just give them a little nudge, not too tight. And we're chaining 4, skipping the chain 1, skipping the 3 double crochet, and going right into this space that we created before, and single crocheting, chain 3 this time, 1, 2, 3, right inside. I want that nice and tight on top of that brick to show the color pop going through, and 1, 2, 3, and because I'm making a pillow, I chose to use a 4.5 hook, which is slightly smaller than the 5.5 size they recommend for your yarn. Your hook size doesn't matter. You match it to the yarn you're using. Everybody's tension is a little bit different, and so you just create how you're comfortable. And I'm continuing on. 1, 2, chain of 3, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, single crochet. I can hear the trains out in the distance with all the leaves gone. The echo really comes. Ohio is known for its trains. We're by several tracks here on the west side of Cleveland. I grew up with them for a long time, and I don't mind them at all. It's a welcome noise to me. 1, 2, 3, and again we're at the end. 4, reach, reach, reach. Skip those 3 double crochets at chain 1 and single crochet into the top, making sure you grab both those loops there. And yep, you better believe it, I'm putting down my hook right there. So I can start my white color next. And once again, I'm going to simply snip a nice long tail. Add my white color in before I finish that last single crochet, leaving a decent tail on that so I don't short myself when I goes to start sewing them in. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your first double crochet plus a chain 1. Turn your work, and in that space you created previously, go ahead and make 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and this is what I want to call the trunk of the tree right here. So we're going to do some color changes, but first we have to get to the exact middle of our inline granny square here. So bear with us while we do this. This really goes fast with all the color changes that we do. And I love seeing all the colors popping through. Now I may mention, for a trivet, like the example I'm showing you before us, this one is made with 100 or close to 100% yarn, because when you want something hot on it, you don't want it to melt a more acrylic yarn. So if you're doing that, please keep that in mind if you're making a trivet. I'm sure all of you know that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're making a pillow like this blue one will be, then go ahead and use any yarn that you'd like. Or perhaps you're just doing a coffee cup holder, and I'd use acrylic for that. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 bricks here. I'm only going to do 2 more granny stitches. 2 more double crochet for this granny stitch. 1 and 2 coming up, and I'm going to stop right here. Stop before you finish that. bring out my tree color. This is a lovely aqua green. And I'm going to finish. This one has a messy tail. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer before I snip it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I snip this. I really do. I don't mind sewing the ends in at all. And again, I think I snipped it too short, but that's okay. Alright, so I've got my next color started, and watch this. This is the trunk of our tree. Here we are. 1, chain 1, skip that single crochet below, stop right there, and you can see the pattern starting to come in. I'm going to go ahead and snip my tree color and push it off to the side. Pick up my white color again and add it the same way. Now if you are able to carry the yarn for this short amount of time, go ahead. I don't prefer to. Again, it's a recipe. What you flavor it with, how you crochet is all individual and up to you and part of the process, the creative process. So I'll do this last one. I'll chain 1, not forgetting to do that. And you can see we just did the trunk of the tree right there. And we have our beautiful first color stripe. What I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to go ahead and finish out the white. And yes, once again, cut my yarn. So catch up to me and meet me right back here. And here we are. This is the base of the tree right here. Our first color, and we're going for our second color change right here. So it is a join into the single crochet of your first color, and again, right before we finish off, I am going to add in my color to start the next one in the line here, and chain 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. Here we go. And then we are going to skip the space, skip the first 3, single crochet in that space. This time it's only 3. 1, 2, 3, all the way across again. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet. So with your second color, go ahead and work all the way across, snip your yarn down here and join your white, and meet me back. And as in the previous rows, I did my last single crochet in the top of the chain 3. I added my new yarn, and I've chained 4 for the first double crochet plus 1. We're going to turn our work. Make sure you have your tree color in front of you, because this is going to be the base of our tree. This is where it really starts to take shape, and we're going to do our first set of bricks right here. Chain 1, another set of bricks right here. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and in the next stitch, as you see in my pattern here, we're only going to do 2 of your base color. So 1, 2, stop right there, snip, grab your tree color. Here we go. I'm going to drop my tree color on the ground so I have a bit more slack here. And pull through, and then 1, That makes a brick right here. 2 white plus 1 green is first brick of color. Chain that 1, and here we go. Let's add the green for our tree. I remember growing up at my grandmother's garden farm. It was a small garden farm where she grew lots of vegetables and had a tiny orchard. Very, very lucky to have had that as a child. Every year at school, we'd get a pine tree, and we would plant it at that farm. And just yesterday, I was reminiscing with my father. My brother now raises his small family on that farm that my dad still owns. And we were wondering, oh, I wonder if the pine trees were still there. And you can kind of see them there in the back. Mainly blue spruce. You know, it wasn't anything fancy back then, but at least I grew up in that environment. Alright, time to count here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I did my chain 1. This is the last double crochet. And I'm going to stop right there. Snip. Whoop. Try to snip. Pick up my white yarn. Add it. And we're going to crochet on out to finish. Go ahead and snip your yarn at the very end like we did before. Remember to do just 2. Some of my examples you might see I accidentally did 4. That's alright. Only I know. And if it's for me, that's okay. There's your brick of 3. Chain that 1 and finish out this row. And join me back with the next color ready to go. And welcome back. Now, to help speed up this video a little bit, because I do believe you guys have this chain, I'll just go over what I did. I have my 3rd color run in my hand. I connected my yarn. I chained 4. I skipped the chain space, the 3 double crochet, and I single crocheted in that space. I chained 3 single crochet, chain 3 single crochet, all the way back down here. And I'm going to turn my work. Now, I just neatened my work because I'm on camera here. I tied little bows. I also did that so we don't have too many yarn ends. Doing that is not a requirement for this. And I'm on the last color run here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead, count 3 up, join your yarn, and this is only going to be a single crochet. So right here, I'm going to grab my white yarn, and I'm going to cut the end of the blue. My white yarn is right here. We're going to add that in. One, 2, 3, and 4. Turn. And I am going to do 3 blocks of white and join you back. And here we are. I did my 3 white. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to add my tree color next. And this part of the tree is really easy. All you're going to do is 4 of your tree color in your bricks. Join your white and finish again. So, join, chain, 3 double crochet for the first brick. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and we're going to take a look at this for a second. I'm just going to snug down, but not too tight, on these yarns because I want you to see your progression. You are decreasing by 1 double crochet every row for 10 rows up. So it's 10 rows across and 10 rows up to get your tree shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the last 2 green, join my white, go all the way across, and I'll join you after I've done my next color change. And again, I am just simply trying to speed up this video a tiny bit by having you join me for each row because I think you've got it by now. So let's do 2 more green, 3 white, color change to your next beautiful rope of color across, and I'll meet you back here. And welcome back. As mentioned, I finished out my 3 white. I joined my newest color. I chained 4, single crochet, chain 3, all the way across, joined my white again, went around 1, 2, 3, did the first double crochet. Remember how I said we're decreasing 1 now? I started just the 1 double crochet, which is showing here in white, and we're going to do 2 of my green tree color. So I'm going to add that now, and we're going to do 2 in green, and 1 and 2. I'm going to flip that over and just snug down, not pulling too tight. There we go. 2. That's our first decrease in color, not stitch. 3 green, 1. I'm going to do that one over because it caught itself. I'm going to drop the yarn on the ground again. And a solid brick of green, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and again 2 green. I'm going to cut the yarn after this one. Stop right there. Cut a nice tail on that yarn. At least a little longer than I did right there. Grab our white. Go ahead and add it to finish the last double crochet in that brick. I'm going to snug down the yarn. Chain that 1. And let's stop right there so we can take a look. Alright, so by decreasing for 1 here, we're getting a nice triangle for the tree. Here's our base. Here's our triangle. And we decrease in color, not stitch. So here's a white with 2 green. The previous row had 3 green. Here's a green plus 3. So to make that angle, we're going to keep decreasing up. What I'm going to do is the same as before. To speed this video along, I'll finish my white, run another color through for the color pop, and I'll join you back here for our next decrease in color only. And welcome back. As I mentioned before, I finished out the 3 white. I joined my newest chain stitch in this beautiful purpley blue. That was really pretty. A nice periwinkle. I added my white. I did 1, 2, 3 solid bricks of white, and exactly as mentioned, here's our decrease in color only. So that was 2 white double crochet plus the green color of our tree for 1. And now I'm going to continue with 2 solid bricks as our pattern dictates up here. So I'm going to do 2 more to complete this brick. 1, 2, chain 1, and 1, 2, 3, chain the 1, and the first color of the brick. Stop right there, cut the yarn, and add the white. And again, I know you guys got this, but we're right here. It is the first set of stitches in that brick. We're going to finish with white. We're going to add the next color row, and I'll meet you back again for the next decrease, which is the 2 green right here. And this will go real speedy after this, but I'm loving, you can definitely see the tree pattern on here. The trunk of the tree is here, and all these beautiful soft blues that are just working so nicely together. So I'm going to finish out with white again after I join it right there. Meet me back here, and welcome back. As mentioned before, I now did a beautiful baby ice blue on top of our periwinkle, chain across. I joined and did 4 solid white bricks and 2 green solid white bricks to get our tree. But I did want to mention, when I joined my yarn at the end of this row right here, my little chain right here is also green. I then did the 3 double crochet, a chain, 3 double crochet, a chain, and then I will join for my white. So my last chain right here is white. So what that means is I'm going to insert my hook back into that and join my white right on that chain, which is a little hard to see because it's covered right here. So I did want to mention that I do join my white and my green over here. Do it again. I'm just giving you a recipe. However you flavor it is up to you. Now, I'm going to meet you back here when you get this far. And what we're going to do is still decreasing. I'm going to pick my next color, going across. I will do 4 solid white plus 1 white to do the almost top of the tree. We've got 2 green right here plus the 1 white. So join me back after you've gotten that far, but I did want to mention that my chain right here is green. Alright, meet me back when you've gotten that far. This is looking really pretty. I'm loving all these blues on here. Alrighty, and let's catch up together. As mentioned before, I added a beautiful row after I finished my white bricks down here in this soft dove gray color. It's got a hint of blue to it, and it fades nicely here. I then joined my yarn, chained the 4, and did 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1, 2 green, chain 1 in green, 2 green, add the white. Now we've got our triangle complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm about to add another color. This one is green with a little tinge of gray in it to go next. And we are going to be doing the very top of the tree here. Here's our sample that we started for, and it's going to be exactly like we did on the bottom here. This first row, what was the tree trunk, is now going to be the tree top. Here you go. So I'm going to go ahead. I believe you guys have the color joined. So what's next? The color pop. Chain across. Do another row of bricks. And then right here, we're going to do the very top of our tree, our little pine tree here. And there's your triangle. And I'm going to do that and meet you back right here. And welcome back. Here we go. As mentioned, we did the last 2 double crochets to complete the tree. So we finished up our 4 plus 2, 1 green to make 1 brick, started 1 green with 2 white to make our other brick, and our last 4 over here. Now let's talk about finishing that last row. I went ahead and did this because there's a couple ways we can finish this last row. I did all white across on this one because I really like the dark to light to white fade, and this makes a perfect tree here. Now, depending how you're going to use your square, I only had 4 color changes here, 4 or 5 color changes. So I went ahead, and in this one I went ahead and did a color. So it all depends how you're going to use your square. And again, I'm giving you a recipe, and how you want to spice your dish is up to you. Now I'll show you the neon one again. I did exactly like this one. I wanted the treetop to be standalone, so I did a black last chain across, and then my last set of bricks up here. My green one was done, this is just so soft and pretty. The green one was done again with a color chain up here. Now we're going to talk about finishing here, and you can see I did a half double crochet on this one all the way around, and my corner pieces are double crochets. There's 3 there, chain 2 and 3 to make a nice square. I then took double crochets all the way around and made a matching back for it so it will peek through. Again, I had mentioned this is going to be a hot pad or trivet. I'm going to sew the 2 together, and there's a nice soft pine tree. Now for the colorful one, I repeated what I did on the, I always keep a little stitch marker down here. I repeated what we did, but with no tree in the middle. So it matches back to back perfectly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew them together, put a pillow insert in here, and put some nice colorful tassels on there. So that's what this one is going to be. And then of course, you know, I love my neon. That's going to be my little coffee mug one because of the black background. I figured the coffee wouldn't be too bad on that. I also drink a 64-ounce water that I don't like to have sweat on my table, and so that will fit, and my coffee cup will fit nicely on here. And I just want to point out the size of yarn. This is a size 3 weight yarn. When you buy these little Color Luxe sets from Premier, this is a worsted weight. So this is small and delicate. This will make a cute little pillow. I can even see making a Christmas stocking out of this, you know, as an addition. And this is nice and thick. This will be a nice secure bottom for my cup, and I just really like that. I don't even think I'm going to make a second layer for that one like I did the others. And since I flipped it over, I gotta share something with you. You know, in crochet, I was always taught, never knot your work, never knot your work. But I'm sorry, if it's going to be for me and there's that many ends, I'm going to triple tie these knots right here. And, you know, it's just for fun. It's just me. But if I'm going to make a pillow to give away, I'm going to sew in all my ends. You'll see right here how nice and neat that's sewed in. You know, and I always mark the front of my work with a stitch marker so I know when I do that. And this, I don't know if you noticed, I'm not adding an edge to this one. There's no half double crochet or single crochet around. I'm simply just going to sew them around the pillow form. And same with this. This has a slight single, not half double, single crochet just to finish it off. And this one, well, I've not decided what to do with this one yet. So again, I do appreciate your time spent with me this morning making a little Christmas tree. And remember, hit that bell next to my name so you know when my next video will post. And as always, make it a great day to knit and crochet. Thank you, everybody. Take care and be safe. Be healthy. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.